Wake Up Dead Man has been one of my favorite movies this year. I did myself a great disservice by just getting around to watching the Knives Out franchise. The first one has been out since 2019. I love all three movies. If I had to rank them, Glass Onion, Knives Out, and then Wake Up Dead Man. Hurry up and make a fourth installment because I just love Daniel Craig's performance as Benoit Blanc, where his adventures could take him next. I think Glass Onion, I didn't like the use of Batista in that film. I think some people just have flack with certain things. I think now looking back and watching it the first time around, it is a lot of rage baiting, trying to deceive the audience. Obviously, it's on the audience's part to kind of make sure you're paying attention with these movies. I think they could have utilized the characters a little bit differently, especially these asshats. They proceeded to grow a backbone after everything was all said and done, so these characters were pissing me off the entire movie. The original Knives Out, I love old school mystery film inspiration that Rian Johnson got with the concept of Knives Out. I love whodunit movies like that. I was a big fan of Clue, the board game, and the movie growing up. All these movies included star-studded cast. The first one, for example, you had Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. You had Catherine Langford, who was big with 13 Reasons Why. You had Jamie Lee Curtis. Of course, Daniel Craig leading the way. And also special shout out to Lakeith Stanfield, who I feel should have had an even bigger role in that film. But Wake Up Dead Man, I enjoyed it so much, and the fact that you don't see Blanc for the first 40 minutes of the film and you're just following Father Judd around and establishing the world, Monsignor Wicks, the rest of the church, it does make the most of the first 40 minutes without including Blanc. It kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I did myself the favor to go see it in theaters, which I think was a far better experience than me sitting down on the couch and watching it at home. I love the themes that it follows with religion and the whole debate of faith, people who are non-believers versus people who follow a faith. I think the one scene that stands out with me is when Father Judd is talking with the woman on the phone. And at first we were so caught up while Father Judd and Benoit, as well as us, the viewer, were all caught up in trying to move the story along, trying to get to the bottom of the case. Louise, as the woman on the phone, started talking to Father Judd about her mother who's in hospice. That's when everything stops. And you see Father Judd look at the shattered statue of Jesus that just a few minutes ago he just had no problem with Benoit smashing to try to find a clue. And I didn't understand it at the time sitting and watching the film, but looking back and thinking back at it, that was a very, very powerful scene because Father Judd stayed on the phone with Louise for hours. And then he goes into the monologue in the rant with Benoit outside of the church, drives home the point he wants to open up people to faith. I think religion and faith is a very delicate topic. I think the film did a really great job at portraying the debate on religion and non-believers versus believers. I think that's why it's definitely my number one. It's one of my favorite movies that I've watched this year. It's my favorite movie out of the Knives Out franchise. Definitely set myself up from not getting introduced to this franchise sooner. I can't wait for them to make a fourth one. Daniel Craig's awesome.